Welcome to the third session on word roots. And in this session, we will again see some words based on some more roots. So we have a root chronos. Chronos is a Greek root which means time. So some of the words that originate from the word root chronos: synchronize, chronometer, chronic, chronicle, anachronism, and chronology. There would be more, but these are some of the common words. Let us try to understand the meaning of each of these. Synchronize. Synchronize means when two things happen at the same time. Like during a dance or a dance show, if there are two dancers, then their movements have to happen at the same time. That's when they appeal to the eye. So they are synchronized movements in a dance. So to occur or to happen at the same time is synchronized. The synchronized movements of the dancers made the dance look beautiful. During video editing, one has to ensure that the video and sound are synchronized. For a policy decision to be effective, for a policy decision made by the government, if it has to be effective, then all the organs of the government must act in a synchronized manner. All the organs that are connected with the policy decision. So synchronize means something that happens or occurs at the same time. It co-occurs. So it co-occurs. Then we have chronometer. This is made up of two words, two roots, chrono and metri. So chrono stands for time and metri stands for measurement. So chronometer is anything, any equipment that will measure time. So something like a watch. The company has come out with a fancy chronometer that is targeted at the premium customers. Next, chronic. Chronic is something that has happened for a prolonged duration. So if something has happened or if something stays with you for a long time, it is chronic. Like a chronic cold or a chronic cough, which stays with you for a long time. So something that continues for a long time is chronic, a chronic cold or a cough. There is a chronic shortage of good managers, which means this shortage of good managers is has been there for some time now. Poverty has been a chronic problem in India. Poverty, a chronic problem. It's been there with for some time. Then we have chronology. Chronology is nothing but a sequence of events. So the order in which a list of events happen is chronology. For example, what is an agenda of a program? In an agenda of a program, the entire chronology of events is listed according to a particular time. A timeline of this company is nothing but a chronology of all important milestones achieved by the company. So, chronology is nothing but a time wise list of events. To find out the criminal, the detective reconstructed the chronology of events as they happened. The detective listed them one after the other as they happened to identify the criminal. Many a times detectives have to do that. Next, anachronism. So anachronism is something that is out of place or out of time. Imagine somebody in the northern parts of India wearing a lungi. Now that's an anachronism. Why? Because generally you will find lungi being worn in southern parts of India but not in the northern parts of India. So anachronism is something that is out of its time or out of its place. It's a person, a thing, or an idea that is out of its time and place, or something in the wrong place at the wrong time. A person who doesn't use a mobile phone is an anachronism these days. So he's out of place, obviously. Everybody is expected to carry a mobile phone. That's the bare minimum. Many people feel that today marriage is an anachronism from the days when women had to be protected. So nowadays, women who are working, many a times they don't want the hassle of a marriage. And they don't want to be protected either because they can fend for themselves. They can earn a living for themselves. And that's why they find marriage as an anachronism. Chronicle, it's It's a written record of historical events, like the modern history of India. The book chronicles the author's childhood and growing up years. So it's a written historical record of the author's childhood and growing up years. Modern history of India is a chronicle of all events starting with the arrival of British to the independence of India. Next we have the root circum. So circum basically is a Latin root which means to go around something, to travel around something. These are the common words with circum: circumlocution, circumnavigate, circumscribe, circumvent, and circumference. Now let's look at some of these words. Circumlocution. So it comprises two roots: circum, which means around, and locu, L-O-C-U, which means to speak. So the meaning of this word is to speak in a roundabout manner or to speak indirectly. So when you speak indirectly, you are circumlocuting. So speak in a roundabout way or indirectly. Please speak clearly and directly instead of engaging in circumlocution. Bureaucrats and politicians are experts at circumlocution. So they'll not speak anything straight. They'll always speak they'll always circumlocute in order to avoid making any promises. Their answers can be evasive at best. Then we have circumnavigate. Circum is around and navigate is travel. So circumnavigate means basically traveling around the world. So to go completely around a place or sometimes even to avoid. Circumnavigate could also mean to avoid. Let's look at a few sentences. Many adventurers circumnavigated the world on a ship before they reached the shores of India. Then, the company circumnavigated the environmental laws by false reporting of its emissions. So, the second use of the word circumnavigate is to avoid something. Next, circumscribe. Circumscribe means to draw around something or to limit the scope of something. A circle circumscribed a triangle. The movement of terrorists has been circumscribed since the military search operations have begun. So, here, circumscribe means to limit the movement of terrorists. So, when you draw a boundary around something, you are basically limiting that thing also. Circumscribe. Circumvent means to travel around, find a way around something. So, companies have been registered abroad to circumvent employment and tax laws of our country. So many a times companies are registered in tax havens. So tax havens are basically places with very low or negligible taxation. And these companies are registered to avoid heavy taxation of a particular uh, of some countries. Youngsters circumvent parental control on social media by hiding their social media activity from parents. The next root word is side. It's a Latin root which means to kill or to destroy something completely. So we have so many words with the root side. We have a genocide, we have fratricide, matricide, patricide, sororicide, regicide, and so on. And you would also remember words like insecticide and germicides and fungicides and so on. These are common words which we have come across. For example, what does an insecticide do? Obviously, it kills insects. So similarly, when we talk about genocide, genocide is nothing but killing an entire group of people. For example, so many terrorist organizations in the world have engaged in genocides. So they have killed an entire section of people, an entire segment of people, and hence they can be called as guilty of committing genocide. Patricide is killing of one's own father. Indian history is full of examples of people, especially princes, killing their own parents, killing their own father in order to grab the throne. Ajatashatru was one such king. There are many. Sororicide, killing one's own sister. Regicide is killing a king or a monarch. that is regicide. Matricide is killing one's own mother. Fratricide is killing one's own brother. So, with this, we come to an end of this session on word roots. More words and word roots to follow in the next session. Thank you.